It's Top Bets. Checking back in. We got our Week 15 first look video. Season's almost over. Didn't have the greatest of the week last week. Ended up losing money. We ended up putting $280 in and only winning $90. So about $190 loss. So cooled us off a little bit from the Week 13 spike. But I thought last week was a little bit difficult to build. It didn't end up going our way with the cheap running backs, with Wilson, with the Detroit Lions guys. So just didn't end up falling our way. McLaurin got hurt. Gibson was not the greatest. So did not go our way whatsoever. But we tune into Week 15. We have 2 Saturday games. We have the Thursday game. So it's a little bit different of a week. But we are focused on the main slate here on Draftkings. So we will go into that thoroughly. Before we get into that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit those notification bell as well. Let's let you guys know every time that I go live. Put them in the comments below if you guys cashed last week, who you guys were on last week, and who you guys like this week. So also check up on our guys at Occupy Fantasy, one of the best lineup optimizers in the game. Also, guys, at matchbets.com, use code DB100. You get a 100% sign-up bonus through them. And then join our free Discord. We have about 230 members right now. We absolutely just talk sports every single second of the day. Great community that we're building there, all for free. So all those links are in the description. So without further ado, let's go. Break it down position by position, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. See how the salaries have changed. See who we should be targeting with the matchups. Also, shout out to Steph Curry. Got the Steph Curry jersey on. Just broke the 3-point record. So shout out to him. One of the most legendary players to play in the NBA. So shout out to Steph. But we'll go right into the quarterback position. So this is it's a pretty top-heavy quarterback slate here. However, a lot of them are hurt. Allen is questionable. I know he got his ankle rolled up on or foot rolled up on, so he's a question mark. I still think he plays. You have Murray. He's healthy. He's all good to go. Rodgers is battling that toe. You got Jackson, who rolled up his ankle, missed the game, missed pretty much the entire game against the Browns. So 3 of the top 4 guys on this slate are battling injuries. So I'm thinking that the ownership is gonna be a little bit lower than you would think on most of those guys. And a lot of guys are probably gonna come down here and play Stafford a lot, coming off that big game against the Arizona Cardinals on Monday Night Football. He threw for 287 and 3 touchdowns, so 139 passer rating. Been very, very solid in the last 3 games since those little clunkers that he had with a couple pick sixes that did not bode well for him. So Stafford, I think, is going to be very popular this week. I'm okay with Murray paying up for him. You have the question mark there with James Conner and Hopkins, but they still have Green. They still have Moore. So they have their pieces there, and they got Ertz. So I think if Hopkins misses time, so I think Edmonds is going to come back. They'll have pieces, and Murray can also get it with his legs too. So it's just a question mark there, but more than likely, I'm going to probably go with a lot of the value guys down here. It looks like Jalen Hurts comes back, faces a very good matchup here with the football team. I like it. Minshew probably was playing. It's kind of crazy to say, but you saw Minshew light it up. So let's see how Jalen does. Jalen's been pretty dang good, but we'll see. I don't think I trust him. Then you have Dak. Nice little clunker he had in our stacks. 11 points, did not get it done. That Cowboys football team stack did not go as planned. You thought with the early Cooper touchdown, but then they had the defensive touchdown, and it kind of got out of hand from there. And Heineke got hurt, and it was not ideal for us last week. You have Russell against the Rams, Burrow on the road against the Broncos. You got Tannehill at Pittsburgh, and then you have 3 very, very solid cheap plays here. Garoppolo, Tua, and Big Ben. I'm probably not going to play a lot of Big Ben, but Jimmy G and Tua, so Tua especially, they both have not been ceiling like games, but they've been honorable. Where if you're going to pay down for them and just hope to get some points, some solid points, you've been getting them with Tua, and then you've also been getting them here with Jimmy G. 17, 20. So, I mean, it's not terrible when you're in this range to get that kind of output, but what it allows you to get in the rest of your lineup is also the key. So that's where I kind of like this range right here. And then down below, you have Newton, who you don't know if he's going to play the entire game. He was insane ownership last week, so a lot of people kind of got screwed on Cam there. You got Lawrence down here, Goff, Allen. It's more where I'm thinking about going is in this middle range here. And if I am paying up for one, I would end up going with the Stafford over the Murrays. But I'm not going to probably touch Jackson, Rodgers, or Allen as of right now. That could change on the Friday stream. That's just how I'm feeling currently. And maybe game stack wise, if I'm just looking at it, thinking about some potentially Seattle and the Rams. It's kind of iffy there. Some big play potential in that game. Maybe Cincy, Denver, but none of them truly stick out as a true big game stack. Once I see the spreads, the over unders, all that stuff, that'll probably dictate it. I have not dove into those just yet. So running back, we have somewhat top heavy. You got Najee, Zeke, Mixon, rounding out the 7,000 plus range. If Pollard is back, I will not have any Zeke. Najee's always in play. Just pure volume. He even had a bad game, I would say, against the Vikings, and he still had 2 touchdowns and 3 targets. So he's always involved in the pass game. Those nice little dump balls from Big Ben, 20 plus attempts as well. So even when they were down by 29 or whatever it was, he still got a bunch of runs. So he's the clear alpha of this slate here. Najee, Mixon against the Broncos defense that has been pretty stout as of late. Tough matchup there. You got the cheat code in Patterson, who just is going to be double digits every single week pretty much. Jones, I'm off of. You've seen Dylan come in and be kind of a 50-50 split now. So Jones's value has gone down. Saquon looked his best as he has all season long last week, and we were on him as well at 18 points. Got the receiving touchdown, which always helped. Otherwise, it was probably just the same old week. He just got in the end zone. James Conner, like I said, is hurt. Otherwise, he probably would have been the number 1 running back on the slate because his salary couldn't change too much with it being on Monday Night Football. But at 6,400, he obviously would have been the number 1 guy. Wait and see on the injury. Got an MRI today on the ankle. If he is good to go and Edmonds is off or is not on the IR anymore, and Edmonds does not play, you fire up Connor a lot at 6,400. Swift is supposed to be back or hopeful to be back. I probably won't have much exposure to him just because of the clear nature of I don't know what I'm going to get out of that. If Eli Mitchell is back, I will have a good percentage of my ownership with him. I just like the usage when he is in there, 27, 27, and 22. You know exactly what this 49ers team wants to establish the run, absolutely wants to bulldoze it down your throat. So I really like Mitchell here. Then you have the $1 million question now: is it going to be Javonte, or is it going to be Melvin Gordon? Both were, I think it was running back 3 and Melvin Gordon and running back 6 last week of Javonte. So if you played either one of them, you're kind of mad that you didn't get all of that with one guy, but you can't be mad with the production if you played either one. I know I played a lot more Javonte than I did Gordon, so I'm sitting there like, hey man, why do we get 9 less carries than Melvin Gordon? However, I do believe Javonte. I do believe Javonte's got the better skill set, but this year it's a true 50-50 split. Maybe even a little bit favored when Gordon plays to Gordon. So keep that in mind. And if he's $200 cheaper, maybe lean Gordon or just be off of them completely in an okay matchup at home. But the main thing is they're at home. Gibson has a quality matchup. However, I just don't know who's going to be the quarterback. Taylor Heineke's supposed to be the quarterback. We will see. So wait and see on Gibson. Pollard, if he's in, I think you can have some exposure to him with the explosiveness, but with that foot injury, I'm probably going to be off of him. And then this is another guy, Darrell. If he wasn't activated to play on Monday night because he got COVID, the entire Rams offense has COVID right now, or team has COVID right now. Wait and see on Darrell. Otherwise, you have Sony Michel. But those two, they have the prime matchup besides the Detroit Lions or the Jets. So a lot of injuries. So there's really good matchups, but we have to wait and see who the running back is going to be, and then we can target them. Basically, between Arizona's running back, then it's become between the Rams running back, and it would be between this Miami Dolphins running backs. They have all great matchups, all matchups that we've been targeting all season long. We just have to wait and see who is there. And then probably the number one waiver wire pick of the week is Rashad Penny. You're going to fire him up in a lot of lineups this week. He's going to be pretty heavily owned at 5,400. Very, very tough matchup, though, with the Rams. So if you are picking him up for the fantasy playoffs, hold your breath. I don't believe you're going to get the same output, but you can kind of stash him for maybe the semifinals or the championship game. Nobody else down here stands out in particular. Maybe Hilliard. If David Johnson can play, he's okay. He's an okay matchup there. But nobody stands out down here off the top of my head as I'm going through. That's all with running backs. So wide receivers, you've got, obviously we're going to have a lot of Stafford. We're going to have a lot of Cooper Kupp. He's an absolute cheat code this year. He has more fantasy points than Devontae Adams did the entire last season. And there's still like 4 more weeks in the season. So he absolutely is on pace for one of the best wide receiving seasons of all time. I mean, 13, 10, 15 targets, over 95 plus. I mean, he's just, his lowest output is 64 yards. Other than that, its lowest is 95. You know exactly what you're going to get. He's at 9,000, so he's not even as expensive as he was. So, and then you also have OBJ in the COVID-19 protocol. We'll see how this offense plays out, but I'm going to have a lot of Cooper Kupp. We've been going value running backs. We've been going chalk wide receivers. I like to see that there. You got Adams, Samuel, Diggs, Deontay, Lamb, Chase. This Pittsburgh receiving core, Deontay Johnson and Claypool, are going to be very good to target against this Tennessee Titans secondary that is not the greatest. I know they held the Jags to 0 points. It is also the Jaguars, who I believe are not playing very hard for Urban Meyer. So I would X that out of your memory of thinking this Tennessee Titans are a good defense. So fire up Deontay, fire up Claypool, Chase, Lockett. Lockett has been very good as of late. 18, 12, 19, and 30. So he has his big play potential firing back up. For whatever reason, Russell and Metcalf cannot get on the same page, but Lockett and Russell are back to that magic. I remember 3-4 years ago, those guys won so many people fantasy playoffs. If you had that Wilson or Lockett stack in there, it was unbelievable to watch. It's getting close to that. I don't know if it'll end up being that route to end the season, but one could sure hope. You got Cooper down here. You got Ayuk. You got Waddle. Probably, you could also, like we're saying, if you do play Hurts, you can go Devontae. You got Dallas Goddard for tight ends to 100% involved here. You got Claypool down here at 5,900. Cooks. Elijah Moore is off. He's on IR. So this is going to be a very popular play this week. Is Braxton Barrios. He had 10 targets last week, and he is pretty much minimum priced. He only got priced up $200. If you need salary relief, Barrios is your guy this week. He is going to be heavily owned. I'd say double digits for sure at 3,200 against a Miami defense that you can throw on. And in his case, with 10 plus targets, it's a no-brainer to kind of throw him in there. So you do have some salary relief this week to pay up for Cooper Kupp, the Samuels, and then Adams as well. And then depending on how it goes with OBJ, you have Van Jefferson. Van Jefferson, who is at 5,600, he would open up to have a lot more targets. He had 7, 7, 9, and 8. Ended up only having 3. I know that a majority went to OBJ. So just keep an eye on that situation there. Let's see, anybody else stands out? But this is getting to the point of the season where there's going to be, those Barrios, those guys at the bottom, that are going to have those potentials to go off. So if you've paired those with those guys who've had a lot of success already in the season, a lot of those stars and scrubs lineups tend to win later on in the season because there is so much value that pops up with all these injuries, now with COVID coming up. So just be on the lookout for a lot of the value plays. I will have them down packed on Friday's game, or on Friday's stream. So let's go to tight ends real quick. Very, very no-brainer here at George Kittle, getting priced up accordingly. So 7,500. If you got him at that 42 and then 37, you weren't going to get him that cheap anymore. You got George Kittle at 7,500 now, and I hope that limits his ownership so we can continue to play him because I like George Kittle and he's rolling right now. I'm going to go to him. I like Mark Andrews. Just depends if Lamar's in there. I know he had like 15 targets with Huntley. I think that was more of matchup based there. I want to see Lamar back if I'm going to fire up Mark Andrews. Then this guy will be very popular here, Dallas Goddard, with the price tag of 5,300. Knox, Gesicki, and Schultz. So maybe this Jets-Dolphins game could potentially be a stack, a very, very cheap stack. I mean, that's pretty sneaky, but I don't see a problem with it. Maybe more of on the Dolphin side, and you run it back with a Barrios. If Michael Carter ends up being back, you can do that. So I like the look of that. Higbee was a false positive, so he should be back in a very good matchup. So that's another aspect you can think of OBJ misses that game. Throw in Higbee for sure. Seals Jones has been a bummer ever since that big game. They had 2 big games, but ever since then he's been kind of irrelevant. I wouldn't lean on him to do much. I'm trying to see if there's any other ones down here that I would particularly like. Moreau, where's Moreau at? He's probably priced up a little bit. Yeah. Everett. Yeah, nobody really down here. So I more than likely, I'm going to probably not pay down at tight end. I'm gonna pay up and have these expensive guys. So let me know in the comments below who you guys are liking. This is just first look where we're just trying to see what the salaries have done, who's been priced up, who we should be able to target in some matchups here and there. So leave a comment below of who you guys are on. Join the free Discord. Check me out on Friday with our top plays and stack stream. Appreciate you tuning in.